Hey everyone, I am really excited to see you May 15th to the 17th in Miami, Florida at Seller Summit 2019. Now, a number of you have been asking me about the sessions, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you what the curriculum is going to be like for Seller Summit 2019. So first off, Scott Volker, he's a good buddy of mine. He runs the Amazing Seller podcast, which is probably one of the most popular Amazon podcasts out there today. And what he's going to cover is the 4-part formula that will explode your business and create a future-proof brand. Now these days, selling on Amazon is a lot harder, and you can't really just throw up a product up there and expect it to succeed. In today's day and age of selling on Amazon, you really have to create a strong brand, and that is what Scott is going to cover at the Seller Summit. Next up, we have Greg Mercer, who is the founder of Jungle Scout. And over the years running Jungle Scout, Greg has amassed a lot of product research data. And he's proven time and time again through his $1 million case study that he is able to find profitable products to sell on Amazon. And so what Greg is going to cover is how to find a profitable product to sell in 2019 in a more competitive landscape. Bill D'Alessandro, he is a speaker who spoke in 2017, and thankfully he's come back this year, and what he's going to talk about is how to clone yourself. Scaling past solo entrepreneurship. Now, I know a lot of the attendees are either solopreneurs or they might have 3 or 4 employees, and Bill has done it all. He has created quite a large organization under himself, and he has a lot of experience in creating teams and basically taking yourself out of the equation so your business does not depend on you. Next up, we got Brett Curry, who is returning from last year. And what I asked Brett to do this year is to kind of give step-by-step guidelines on how to set up and run profitable Google Shopping ads. Now these days, a lot of Amazon sellers are migrating over to selling on their own shop, and the first type of ad that converts extremely well is Google Shopping. And so what I asked Brett to do this year is to provide a more step-by-step approach on how to get started and kind of the guidelines for doing so. Next up, we got Mike Jackness, a good buddy of mine. He's a partner of mine for the 5-minute pitch. And Mike runs Color It, which is the premier coloring book store online. And what I asked Mike to talk about was lifestyle marketing. Now these days, it's very important to get a customer who has purchased from you to purchase from you again over and over and over again. So Mike is going to cover the life cycle of marketing and how to extract the maximum value from your customers. After all, repeat business is the main value add that you have by running your own e-commerce store as opposed to just selling on Amazon. Dana John Zemas, she is a great friend of mine, and she has spoken multiple times at the Seller Summit and has been a huge hit. And what I asked Dana to talk about is how to unlock your profit potential and how to improve your gross margins. Now in this day and age, especially selling on Amazon, it is very easy to lose control of your costs. And a lot of people, they chase revenue without thinking about the bottom line. And Dana, she's probably one of the most level-headed people I know, and she has this methodology that she goes through on a weekly basis to make sure that she's maximizing profit in addition to worrying about revenue. Brad Moss, he is the former head of Seller Central at Amazon, and his talks have been a huge hit the past couple years at Seller Summit, so I've asked him to come back again to talk about the critical metrics behind creating a successful Amazon business, and all this information, of course, is updated for 2019. Molly Pittman is a brand new speaker for Seller Summit this year, and Molly was the former VP of Marketing for Digital Marketer, and she is an expert in all things Facebook ads and Facebook Messenger bots. Now, what I asked Molly to talk about this year is to go through a step-by-step case study of how to run Facebook ads for one of her client companies. Now, a lot of you out there probably have high-level knowledge of how to run a profitable Facebook ad, but Molly's going to show you the exact ads that she ran for one of her clients from complete scratch and show you exactly what she did to make those ads successful and have a positive ROI. Next up is Ezra Firestone, and if you've never heard of Ezra before, you've probably been hiding under a rock. Ezra runs Smart Marketer, Zipify, and his own cosmetic line called Boom by Cindy Josephs. Now, the exact topic that Ezra is going to talk about is still TBD, but he's probably going to talk about how he runs Facebook ads and Facebook Messenger bots to grow his cosmetics line. And Ezra's talks are always super entertaining because he is such a fantastic speaker. Next up, Matt Sanaki. Now, 3 years ago, if you're at the Seller Summit, you may have remembered that Drew Sanaki actually spoke about lifecycle marketing. And this year, I was lucky enough to nab Matt Sanaki, which is Drew's brother, to talk about email deliverability. As I mentioned in the last slide, email open rates and click-throughs have been declining for the past several years. And what Matt is going to talk about is how to improve your email deliverability. And there's a lot of things kind of going on behind the scenes that you probably don't know about that is greatly affecting your deliverability. After all, if someone is not getting your email, then there's no point in sending it. Matt is going to teach you how to 10x your email game. Next up is Nathan Resnick, and if you remember, he spoke at the Seller Summit last year. Now this year, I told Nathan to kind of switch gears a little bit. As you're probably aware, Trump has imposed a lot of tariffs on goods being imported from China. And so what I asked Nathan to do is to teach us how to avoid paying those tariffs. Now this session could pay for the Seller Summit all in itself because he is going to teach you how to legally avoid paying duties and tariffs altogether. Edward Ruffin from Seller Labs, and Edward, if you're watching this, I'm saying this in a good way. Edward is probably the biggest Amazon PPC ads geek that I've ever met in my life. And so he's really passionate about this. And so specifically in terms of Amazon PPC, what I asked him to cover is how to scale Amazon PPC ads once you've been able to make them profitable. Trent Dursmid, he is someone who I just met in the last year. And after talking to him on the phone and meeting him at E-commerce Fuel Live, he is an extremely successful Amazon seller, but his approach is different. He actually sells wholesale products online, and his Amazon business has been completely automated so that he is completely out of the business. And so what I asked him to talk about is how to build a scalable wholesale business on Amazon and outsource all the work involved in running that business. Next up, we got Casey Goss, who is the founder of Viral Launch. And just like Greg Mercer, Casey's company Viral Launch has a ton of seller data because over the years, they've been helping people launch products on Amazon. And as you know, selling on Amazon, it evolves year after year. And so what Casey's going to cover is how to drive sales and keyword ranking in 2019 without doing any sort of giveaways. Casey really knows his stuff, and this session is going to be a popular one. And finally, I want to introduce Alana Wexler. Now, Alana is actually someone I met completely randomly at Traffic and Conversions at a booth for Wicked Reports. And what's funny is we just started talking, and then I realized that Alana really knows her stuff. And what I asked her to talk about is an advertising medium that isn't actually used very often by e-commerce sellers today, and that is the Google Display Network. And just a quick confession here, the Google Display Network is actually one of those ad platforms that I personally have not fully mastered. So I asked Alana to talk about how to run profitable Google display ads. And what Alana tells me is that if you are successful running Facebook ads online, you can be just as successful running the same ads on the Google Display Network and make a lot more money because the Google Display Network actually reaches a much larger audience than Facebook does. So that's just a sampling of the curriculum that's going to take place at Seller Summit 2019. There's also probably going to be 2 additional speakers where I haven't narrowed down their topic just yet, but I'll keep you posted as soon as that information is available. In any case, I'm really excited to see you at Seller Summit 2019, which is taking place on May 15th to May 17th in 2019 in Miami, Florida. And if you haven't picked up your ticket already, head on over to www.sellersummit.com. Hope to see you there.